is that this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only, full stop. Before you invest, make sure you understand the investments you're making, because all investments involve risk. Intellectual property rights. We have trademarks, patents, copyrights, registered marks. We have all of that, folks. So please just ask us if you'd like to use anything I'm about to present today. We'll be happy to give you an approval, and then we'll ask, of course, that you cite Market Rebellion. All right, let's get to it. Well, this one worked out already via CBS. Viacom CBS, they bought 10,500 of those January 3750 calls. You know that I told you that I bought the at-the-money calls, not those way out of the money calls. I'm sure both did well, but I like my spread better than I like buying those way out of the money calls. As you see, the stock moved up from the 32 to 32.61, been as high as 32.89 today, and we are enjoying the move, of course. Bang. Next one, how about this one? PayPal, November 190 calls. When Pete got on Halftime Report, the stock, when we first saw these calls trading, was under 190. Then it went to 190. Then it went to 191. And knock on wood, these are, November calls. So look at where it went to today. 194.59 is the high of the day. Bang. Love that. And we took some nice profits already, because it's such a shortened time frame, folks, that I need to be very careful, especially when I'm traveling, because sometimes up in the air you don't have the Wi-Fi you think you're going to have. Luckily, I did, took some profits, and now the stock is still hanging around the 193 level, as you see there. Like the position, like the trade, but it's got a limited amount of time to be right. That's what you need to be aware of. You also need to be aware that in the App Store, we have Crypto Rebellion. And that's the Apple Store, of course, where we have an approved app, where we've got charting, we've got chat room, all kinds of things. You've got to check it out. You can also check it out by going on our website, marketrebellion.com/crypto, CRYPTO. That's marketrebellion.com/crypto. When you go there, what you'll see is, of course, that, oh my gosh, Bitcoin through 17,000. Yes. I mean, this is the best performing asset we've got right now. And I don't think that the future is dimmer. I think the future is even brighter. So from my hosts, thank you. Here's a tip of the glass to that. All right, let's get into today's 3 at 3, and then I'll get to some of your questions. Roku, because they're buying the November 250 calls. Now, you don't have a lot of time to be right in this one. This is Tuesday, keep in mind, the 17th. We expire on the 20th this week, so keep an eye on these calls. You need to move fast if we're getting upside movement. Now, the calls were purchased at the 250 strike. I did not buy those. I bought a lower strike, and I sold an upper strike against it, 1-to-1. If you do it 1-to-1, you have no upside risk. If I own the right to buy it at 240 and I'm selling the 250s, the difference between the two, what I paid and what I collected, that is going to be what my risk is. Meanwhile, I've addressed time decay and volatility compression. So stock was 236.58. Here you see it, 235.33. It's been just today through to 243. So plenty of room in this one. I am in the call spread, not in those naked upside calls. Second of our 3 at 3, Apple. And this one, what a surprise. Jon's already in Apple. It's my biggest position again. Apple, AAPL, $119.18. They're buying the end of the year, December 131 calls for basically, let's call it $120 a piece. I'm splitting the difference there. Call it $122 a piece. I don't care. That's each option's $122 to buy it at 131. Now, again, that's way out of the money. I'm going to buy something closer to the money, because that way I move the odds into my favor. But the closer to the money options do have a more cheddar. They're more of a cost to owning those. So I buy those closer to the money and I sell one above it, doing it 1-to-1 like I've already described. All right, so stock was 119.18. Here's the chart of the stock right now, 120.65. Bang. Working, looking good, like the position. I bought some calls just to add to it, but I didn't buy any more stock. I'm already plenty long the stock and options. Third of our 3 at 3, Overstock, OSTK. Overstock, they're buying December 60s. These are a month into the future, folks. Not this week, November, December 60 calls. This one's been all over the board, as you know. When Mr. Byrne had his issues, the stock was really in trouble. It has made a recovery since then, more than just a recovery. It and Wayfair are two of the best performers in the small caps. And OSTK 54.18, they were buying the 60 calls. There's the graph. It's at 58. As you see, it's already moved up $4 since when we flagged it for our subscribers earlier today. All right, now to the questions. Question time. Yep, question time. Better clear my throat. It's a nice Pinot. All right, question time. Tesla. Drew, the lone wolf, says, okay, John, Tesla, my fellow Armenian brothers, holding any Tesla calls? You bet I am, sir. And I'm happy to be holding Tesla calls. I took profits earlier this year, got back in when it broke down. Love the action, Drew. Thank you, my friend. And to my Armenian brother, Inchbeses, Pasha. So I like it. I like it being added to the S&P 500. I think it's been a long time coming and very deserving for Tesla, TSLA. And I own it. Getting to the next one, there's our Armenian flag. How about that? Here's a little chart. Shows you the Tesla as it moved to 500 back in September. That, as you recall, was on that 5-for-1 split. Apple did a 4-for-1. Tesla did a 5-for-1. On the tail end of that, and maybe with a little help from SoftBank, who knows, it burst all the way up to there. And when it gets to that candle, that big red candle that was right sitting on the support, that's when we got back in at about the 340-ish level, and it's been a heck of a ride. Still love the position. Thank you, Wolf. Now for this one, Ape Gator is, I guess, sharing with me not only some yoga positions, but the fact that he's got a good-looking cup of what I will describe as either whipped cream on your coffee, nothing wrong with that, Ape Gator, or maybe it is a cappuccino that is extremely frothy cappuccino. But anyway, Ape Gator, love you. Thanks for that love. We'll look for you soon. Okay, Via C, we talked about this one a little earlier, but Mike Reiki, MVRICCI 46901. There you go, Mike. I mentioned it yesterday. What do I make of the large put buys in the name yesterday? Nothing really. The call buys were more significant. Did they seem to cancel each other out? Perhaps. And in many cases, Mike, when we see a large put buyer, what we do is we look and see if we see a corresponding trade in the calls. Because if we do, that's an excuse for us to say, hey, there's a lot of call buying in this one, and there's a lot of put buying. Are they canceling each other out, which is Mike's question? And my answer is we saw some blocks of stock being bought, a long stock position, Mike, and a long put option equals a call. So maybe it was somebody doing that, and maybe they want long-term capital gains. Maybe they intend on holding the stock longer. So one of the only negatives of options trading is most of the gains are short-term and thus subject to ordinary income. There is a chart of Viacom as it moves to 31.90. And we showed you already, we've had a nice move out of Via. How about snow? All right, James, how about snow? If this isn't a head and shoulders pattern, I really don't know what it is. And it can be that I don't know. Okay, well, you're very fair in that assessment, James. It's always a brave man who says, I don't know what I don't know. And as far as Head and Shoulders patterns, let's take a look. This is the stock that Warren Buffett was an early investor in, Snowflake, symbol SNOW. It's up another $4 or 1.6% today, and it sure could be a Head and Shoulders pattern. I will ask AJ Monty. So what I'll say is, James, what we're looking at is perhaps a Head and Shoulders. It's only been listed a short period of time. So what I'll do is I'll ask AJ Monty tomorrow on our webinar. It's a free webinar. You can join us, James. All of you can join us. It's free to sign up. And we're going to break down 30 stocks in 30 minutes. You won't believe it. AJ is the best chartered market technician, CMT, and he's going to break it down. And I will make sure that we cite your example, James, Snowflake. Bang. All right. That is going to be it, our Constructing a High-Octane Options Portfolio. It is a free webinar with me and our CMT, AJ Monty, tomorrow right at the market close, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Make sure you tune in for that, folks. And if you'd like to learn more about Market Rebellion, any of the offerings we've got, go to marketrebellion.com/get started. To learn more specifically about unusual option activity that Pete and I cite on the halftime report, as well as right here, you can go to marketrebellion.com/UOA for unusual option activity. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll be on the halftime report. And then, of course, back on the 3 at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining me, folks. I hope you have a great day. And remember, vote Kanye. Bang.